Hey, Namaste, this is Sacred Owl with another chapter of Real Talk by Sacred Owl. Today I want to share some thoughts about, it's called the Six Basic Fears, and this was first identified in the book by Napoleon Hill in his book called Think and Grow Rich. And these six basic fears are the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of bad health, the fear of loss of love, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. These three enemies, indecision is a seedling of fear that blend and they create more of the fear. So the three seedlings are grow, doubt, and fear. Growth, doubt, and fear. Most about the six basic fears is that regarding the fear of poverty, poverty is something that we get into because we're so scared that we won't have. In my experiences, in my life experiences, in order for me to have dealt with the fear of poverty, I had to face being homeless. And that happened, not only just to myself, but to my family. And in dealing with that homelessness, we finally realized that there really wasn't nothing to be afraid of. Because in that homelessness, we were given such an adventure, and Spirit gave us such an understanding of what life is all about that we were able to overcome the fear of it. And we actually had the best, at that time, the best summer we ever had in our life. And basically, we had no place to live, but we lived in places that you couldn't even imagine that were so great and so wonderful. So in the fear of poverty, you have to decide whether you're going to accumulate wealth responsibly and then you will be happy getting along with it. But you don't have to necessarily let that become your complete lead. So in understanding the fear of poverty is simply wondering what you're going to do without and how you're going to be without anything in your life. And the reality is that once you face that fear, you realize there's no such thing as poverty, but simply a state of being. The next step is the fear of criticism. And the fear of criticism is worrying about what somebody else has to say about you, what somebody else is going to criticize about you, whether they're going to call you fat, ugly, you're not good enough, whatever the case may be. And that fear of criticism can be overcome by this simple action: not allowing somebody else's opinion about you be more valuable in your life than your opinion about yourself. Now, mind you, if the opinion about yourself is negative, then you're going to attract people who are going to criticize you because they're going to now enlarge your viewpoint about who you are and how you feel about yourself. So the fear of criticism is really, you don't have to really give two damns about what people think about you. What's most important is what you think about yourself and how you feel about yourself when you go there. Now, regarding the fear of bad health, decide whether you're going to focus on being healthy and that, or not being healthy. If you focus on what is your sickness or how you're going to get sick, you're going to attract that sickness. But if you focus on living and just enjoying life for what it is, then the fear of ill health or the fear of disease won't happen to you, and therefore it will almost be impenetrable to you. But if you're worried about it, then of course the universe has to respond to that worry and then give you things to be sick about. You know, people who insist on being a victim in life, they have this fear of ill health because they're always worried about or always wanting to pull energy in because they project being sick. I know some people who actually they stay hurt and they stay injured, and it's the always woe is me thing, the Eeyore syndrome. Oh, well, this hurts, or well, that hurts, or or you tell them, listen, I have a stomach ache, well, they got stomach cancer. If you have a headache, well, they have a tumor in their brain. It's the fear of health is a strong fear, but to overcome it is to just not even project or think about it. Now, the next fear is the fear of loss of love. Love is something that happens But when you have people in your life that you fear losing their love, then maybe you have to start questioning what their love is all about. You have to start questioning about what is it that they're really sharing with you, and what is it that they're projecting at you. Because if you fear losing their love, then at some level they have hyped you, or they have gaslit you into believing that you can't do good without them. Now, mind you, it may not be something they did either. It's something that you grew up understanding, and that's something you have to really begin to overcome by not worrying about losing that person. Now, the fear of old age. The fear of old age is something that people don't realize. In my culture, and the way I grew up in my neighborhood, if a man of my background, of my ethnicity, lived to be 50, it was an accomplishment. That's right, because I grew up with a lot of people getting hurt and not making it. And so we don't fear old age. Old age is something that you have to be grateful for, and living in the now, old age will never have an opinion over you. And the last one is the fear of death. Dealing with the fear of death, in my opinion, is a very personal matter, and depends on how much your religion or lack of religion or beliefs regards the afterlife. Evaluate your beliefs on this matter, but also decide to accept and make peace with death, as it is an unescapable event. Which of the 6 basic fears you fear the most? Well, think about it and understand that these fears are natural and everybody has them, but there's ways to overcome them. I hope this video helped you. It's just an introduction, and it's something that was written by Napoleon Hill with Think and Grow Rich. Peace, Sacredowl.